Got ourselves a batch of shinies, Commander.
Hello and welcome to Coordinated Fire, Episode 39, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast where sometimes even we don't know what's going to happen. How are you guys doing?
What does that even mean? We don't even know, but it's provocative.
It means we're eagerly waiting for this damn rebalance, I think, is what we're waiting for.
It also means we have a bit of a surprise tonight, which is
Do
a
we?
surprise for us.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about our most recent event. We'll talk about some recent games we had, but we're also going to unveil said surprise from our friends in Kitchener-Waterloo, because they gave us packages that say do not open until podcast.
I go to a podcast.
We gotta show it off.
These
We're
are-
gonna-
Yeah.
Um,
So these are from Alex. She's been on the cast with me doing the Ewok episode, and he also runs the KW Gaming Wargaming Guild. They run Battle for Breath, for
Mhm.
reference for those that are not aware. And we were handed these from our good friend Trevor and told not to open until today.
And we all kind of had the realization of, we don't record this week, so we got to wait a week and a
Yeah, so
half
these
on
have been-
this.
these
it
have
is
been sitting for
driving
a
me
bit.
insane.
So we have no idea what's in these, and we're looking forward to finding out on air, apparently.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you're gonna have to switch to YouTube.
Yeah, like we-
Spotify's got the
what it
video
is.
there.
Yeah, we'll say what it is, but it'll be way more engaging if you can actually see it.
Actually, I
Plus,
guess you
everyone
can't
can come on and see my sweet, sweet baby face.
Oh yeah. Guess you can do the Spotify video too, right?
That's a one-time only.
Yeah, the Spotify video, honestly forgot about it after the first couple episodes because I just immediately minimize it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is
and-
there. People actually, I think Apple just launched video, and I think we can move that over there now too.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Nice.
the
But yeah,
video world.
on the 2-week rotation, that should be starting to grow in a fair bit, I would say.
We'll be full in by the time we get to the next one.
Nice. Amazing.
All right. So,
Um,
recent games. Sean, I know you've been busy with work.
Yeah,
still.
but work and stuff. Work's been taking me away from our Thursdays, unfortunately, for a little bit. But
Yep.
You guys got some in this week?
We did. So
Yeah. yeah, Dice, you go first.
I was very excited to try out Kyle's list from the event that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. So I won't talk about it too much because I don't want to take away from that. But it is a Padme Mace Windu list. Props to all the people who've been saying for months that this list is something that is fun to play and can do well, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I played against Josh and he was playing Separatist. Or no, he was trying out the new Morgan box. So
was
he had
trying to Morgan,
Asajj,
yeah.
and that's why I thought Separatist. But no, he had Asajj, Morgan, tried going full Dathomirians. That full Dathomirian list really is slow if you don't have Talzin, and would not recommend, especially
Yeah,
against the Padme Mace list I had, because it was like a list
It's
where
so
everything moves
fast.
something versus a list where nothing moves anything, and it was pretty one-sided.
So my game also ended up a little one-sided. So I was playing Luke Hera,
Ooh.
which was an impulsive choice as I was packing up to head down for the games night. I wanted to. It started with just wanting to play Luke and not wanting to play Cassian, and then I was just looking for some other options, and we ended up on Hera. That was with Sabine and Ezra as the secondaries, and then Rebel Commandos and Bartu as the support. I was going for something fun, and it didn't end up something fun. Ryan was playing Separatists with Asajj Grievous. Yes.
That sounds
He
right.
crushed you?
No,
Declare?
I absolutely rolled over him. It was
Okay.
it was pretty bad. So struggle 1 ended up with us just activating on the same side of the board, 3 activations in a row, and basically that back and forth ended as soon as I got Luke up there, because he just didn't have the tools to get Luke off of the point. It ended with Luke getting a double wound and score 4 on
Ouch.
Shatterpoint, ending struggle 1. Struggle 2, the Rebel Commandos activated and did the Rebel Commando thing where they just completely pop off. So
Just utterly spiked.
Yeah, these guys were
Yeah.
packing up their table by the time Josh and I were almost done Struggle 1. It was rough.
yeah, it was rough because I think Ryan had the right play to get Struggle 2. He had a play with the Aqua Droids, which would have ended up, we were playing strategic positions, and he had a play that would have scored him 5. Unfortunately, they whiffed, so my commandos survived a double Aqua Droid shot. He wasn't able to quite get them in melee. They still had their hunker. And then the commandos stood up right after that and popped off the Aqua Droids and No Sarai. One shot No Sarai from 0 to dead.
Yeah.
It was...
Strategic Positions has those moments where it's like you either get the really big score or it goes back hard the other direction.
Yep. And that is exactly what happened. Like, I don't think we got to Grievous's activation.
Wow.
That's rough.
That
It was a rough game.
Because that's one of the more powerful activations in that list, too.
Yes.
That
Grievous
sounds
was
like
the
a
bottom
game
card
I
on the
had.
deck. Yeah, it was just everything that could go wrong for Ryan just did, whether it was dice going my way or order deck. It was... Because I went in and I was like, I don't have anything to react to the murder that Asajj Grievous is going to bring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Asajj feels somewhat good for dealing with Luke.
And that's the side Asajj was on. Like, this is not how I thought this game was going to go at all. But like 2 activations, I think I took Struggle 2 after I think it was a favorable layout for him. But the bottom of my deck was Hera and then Rebel Commandos. So Hera was able to get up and get an injured bar 2 to grab 2 points, and then the Rebel Commandos grabbed the other 2 on theirs, and then we just kind of called it.
Do you have enough time in this game to get some impressions of playing Hera, or was it just
So of note, because Hera and the Commandos were on the same side of the board and unable to take a point, which was the priority point over here. And the only thing that I could get based on elevation and ladders, any activation other than Hera would not have been able to take that point for me. Hera being able to wake up Bar 2 and walk them onto this objective was the only way I could possibly take that point. And she was also able to shove an Aqua Droid off the midpoint. Hera activated once, but it was great. This is my second time playing Hera in a bit, and I have been really impressed with her both times.
I think all 3 of us have been. Like, I'm honestly at a point where I feel like Hera is one of those hidden gems that is just being suppressed by the meta. And as soon as we have something shake it up, I think she's going to be maybe not the top, but very close.
I think twofold. One, that being able to wake something up is incredible. And there are really great targets for this in the game right now. If something happens to Cassian, Hera is right there as a very strong Rebel pick. I think the only reason we don't see her right now is that Cassian is the obvious choice if you want to play Rebels, and he is probably Cassian's worst.
Yeah, and they fill a similar role, too. They're both kind of a support.
Yes.
Primary.
Yeah, because like, when we get to talking about our celebration event,
You had some fun with Hera.
Played 3 games of Han and Hera, and I will go through my games and sing the praises of playing Hera at that event as well too. So that's exactly where I'm at.
I think we're in a meta game right now where the risk of a dead turn is just not something you can take, and she has the capability of those, and it's just by her own movement. That is the only piece that comes with that. But I think we're also just in a safer mission set for her now, where like odds is the only place I really wouldn't.
But like she's in a faction that can also deal with odds pretty well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything else has the tool. You've got commandos. You've got a ton of other options that are just tough and on points.
I didn't find her terrible on odds, though. I guess in a lot of my games, I was in a position where Han was able to move her first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I think maybe that lined up very well for me in my games, is that Han was able to move her first, and then that gave me
I think that's
positioning advantage to do more with her.
I think that's more a credit of Han being really good on odds.
Yes.
Because honestly, Han's the only full unit like full advance out of activation in Rebels, I think that isn't a revenge of some sort. But yeah, that was fun. I don't think there's been any other Thursday night games because I think we missed the previous week. Do you guys want to open some presents?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm staring at it right here.
Again, thank you, Alex. Thank you to the KW Wargaming Guild for whatever is in these bags. We appreciate it.
I'm not
you.
thanking Alex till I know what it is. Might be weird.
I will preemptively thank you then, my friend.
I have found tissue paper.
There's sparkly tissue paper.
I have taken the tissue paper off to find
I'm
more.
waiting for it to be a cardboard box that's been wrapped.
Okay, it has a plug.
My God.
Okay, that's beautiful.
That is sick.
Okay, now I can say thank you, Alex. That is
It
incredible.
has a
All right, I'm
cord.
plugging it in.
Does it light up? Is that what this does?
That is what I'm guessing. Yes,
This is cool.
Okay, hang on. Oh no,
that absolutely.
hang on.
Look
I
at
gotta
that
find
beauty.
That looks awesome.
I don't know if I have a USB to plug mine in.
No, I have no. I have none left.
Are you?
Well,
Well, Kyle's showing it off, so.
Look at that beauty.
So for those of you in audio only, they sent us like light up coordinated fire signs essentially. Yeah.
I have to position my. How am I gonna do this?
Yeah, it's gonna go right back there on the shelf once we get it right now.
This is awesome.
These are very cool. Thank you, Alex.
Yes.
Thank you to the KW Wargaming Guild. These are very, very nice. Thank you.
I'm very excited.
yeah.
Oh, what a nice personal touch kind of gift, man. That's
That
spectacular.
is incredibly cool, and a huge thank you to Alex.
I gotta find somewhere to put it in this mess of mine.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'm
These are fun.
gonna set it up nicely and figure out how I'm gonna plug it in on the shelf back there, but it's probably gonna go right
I mean,
there.
I'm gonna say if you move that Legion
That-
stuff,
Yeah,
you move those Legion boxes, and it'll be just above you. That's perfect.
10 out of 10. Right now, it's hanging out. Oh, we're reversed. Right there.
That's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
beside myself.
Thank you, Alex. Honestly, that's very cool surprise.
All right.
Well, now I
So-
want to end it. This is what can possibly top that.
Well, that's why I had it later in the show and you told me to move it. So
I was excited, rightfully so.
no, I had no idea what to expect, and this blew it out of the water.
Incredibly cool. As the last one, thank you, Alex. That is
Thank you, Alex.
incredibly cool. All right, we had an event this past weekend. Not this past weekend, the one before.
Did
Been a week
We
and
had
a
an
bit.
event.
We had an event.
grand event
What
finally?
is time?
I think we've mentioned a few times on the cast. We've had a little bit of difficulty with some events firing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure there's some, people in communities out there too that are kind of maybe feeling this effect, waiting for rebalance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we were able to get 14 people together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this was our Shatterpoint celebration day. Again, I know we talked about this last episode, but this was supposed to be the date for TBO. Generally, everyone kind of made a unanimous call that waiting for rebalance to do our next big event was what everyone wanted to do, and I completely understand.
Yeah.
So instead, I played. We still did a crap ton of prizes. Without me talking about that, how was the prizing?
It was cool. I thought it was really awesome to have just a table full of stuff that everyone could pick from.
Phenomenal. Like way more than you needed to do, Kyle. That's kind of like your MO at this point. You put on these great events and everybody leaves with something. I know there were a number of people that were very happy leaving with squad boxes that they didn't have. Some of those were actually extras for you. So you're probably happy getting rid of like a double or a triple, right? So
Yeah, I've anytime I see them discounted somewhere, I snag them up for one reason or another. And I'm always glad I do, because these are the times to be able to use that. I want to give a shout out, as always, to Critical Hit, who is very generous in the pricing they give back when it comes to ticket cost. So we charge, Sean, you and I kind of just set what we're charging for the event, and the majority of that goes back to the prize pool, which is always really great. Again, for anyone that comes out to play there, buy food, buy drinks, because the only reason we're able to do that is because they make their money off of that. So
yep, there was red dice and promo cards and
A lot of table bound merch, which was nice.
table bound merch. And as always, we had one new player come out and I went through the box of promo cards and do my thing. Usually, hey, what do you need? What do you have? Da da da. And I always make sure our new players are taken care of and try and get them caught up on the promo cards that we all have already, right?
Yeah, I think I was able to. I know you went through the box there, and we gave him a whole set of season one.
Yeah, season 1 GT, which is those are very sought after. Those are hard to find now. And then you gave away your Adepticon card. I was so sad.
I did.
So sad to see that, but
I knew honestly, I knew Brandon was going to go for it if it was still there by the time he went up, and he absolutely did.
He pretended to go for something else for a second.
He's got both of them now. He's got, and I want to try and get my hands on one of those Balin ones. Actually, to be honest with you, so.
They are very cool. All right, let's jump in because we did get to play an event as well. So 14 people out. We did a four round event. I think with, again, the change from TBO to this, everyone came in for a day to have some fun. And that is definitely what we did. I'll just say first and foremost, thank you to everyone that came out. It was an absolutely incredible day. Every game I played was super fun, as it always is with our local crew. I'm glad everyone came out for the right vibe. I know we're all very eagerly anticipating some balance changes, but everyone came in to have some fun.
Except for Cam. That Cam guy brought
Cam never has fun.
And he never has fun.
Yeah.
Every time Cam, you play Cassian, you never have fun. I'm going to put that on the record.
He is my nemesis at this point because I think I'm 0-4 against him over the last 6 months.
We love Cam. Cam's our grouchy gamer. We love him.
Nah, he's a lot of fun.
Let's jump into lists. I'll pass it over to you first. What did you play?
Yeah, so I played typical Empire list. So I actually took the Grand Inquisitor box as is and Moff Gideon box as is. Kyle, this is one you've played as well too. Do you play them both as is when you played it?
I swapped some things between the two boxes, but yeah, it's box and box.
Yeah, it's box and box. And then I went out on a little bit of a limb for my second list, and I played, as mentioned, Han and Hera. So that was Hera, Bodhi Rook, Bazin Chirrut, General Solo, Agent Callus, and Rebel Commandos. My mission was never tell me the odds. Going to my notes here real quick, because this was a little while ago, and I will forget stuff about games 2 minutes after they happen. So just quick breakdown of my games here. Round one with Josh. I played G.I. Moff against his Kiadi and Vader 1. We played Never Tell Me the Odds. Bit of a sassy pick here for me going G.I. and Moff, but I knew I wanted to take Never Tell Me the Odds against a Heavy Republic list. But then I ended up having a terrible struggle 1. I actually gave him first struggle. It was so bad. But then struggles 2 and 3. This Empire list has a great way of out-attritioning other lists, dealing a lot of damage, and then you get the tiebreakers in there as well too. So I was able to grind out struggles 2 and 3 for a win there. Yeah, round 2, I played against Rob. So this is where I played Han and Hera for the first time. And again, showing how much of a weapon Never Tell Me the Odds again can be against Republic. He went with Obi and Kiadi. Again, I'll sing the praises of Hera. Great for waking up units and taking a point, and aggressive point taking is just fantastic with her. I didn't find her activations were too bad, with Han being able to give the full advance. But again, with Rebel Commandos and Bazin Chirrut, really great on Never Tell Me the Odds. And then round 3, I have never ever been rolled in a game in my life than I was against Brad. Brad played PLC, Luke, Bazin Chirrut with Lando, Bosk, and Han and Chewie. Double 5s on Never Tell Me the Odds. Completely steamrolled me. Probably similar to your game there against Ryan. Just nothing was going my way. Bad defense rolls, bad attack rolls, just nothing going my way. And we were near the end of struggle 2, and I just said, I'm good. He had Commandos double wounded. Bazin Chirrut were double wounded because I woke them up with Hera. Just a bad game for me.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was. And then round 4, I played our buddy Mike Bertrand, Han and Hera versus Leia, C-3PO, Pathfinders, Logray, K2, and Ewok Hunters on Sabotage Showdown, which was a little bit of a good change. I felt this list played really, really well on Sabotage, actually. Bayesian Sure controlled the left side, Commandos on the right side. Was able to get a wound on K2, Struggle 1 that helped prevent the lockdown. Was able to get into his back objectives and take a 2-1 on this one. Leia is still real great with that expose. She was able to do a lot of damage. So yeah, those are my 4 games, kind of real quick. Again, we were playing casual. These were just fun games. I really, really love this Han and Hera list. I think it's really, really dynamic. It does a lot of great things. And Hera is going to be a character that I'm going to personally explore a lot more post rebalance.
It'll be interesting to see where Rebels land, because I think we're all hoping Bayesian Sure it gets some touches, and seeing where everything lands with a different Cassian and a different Bayesian. I think that's going to be wide open to see what.
It would really be nice to see Rebels be a little more varied, because there's so many cool things that they have that just don't see a lot of play. And Han is a big one there because he's so cool. Every time I
Han's
see him on the
good.
table,
He's always
looks good.
Yeah, completely agree. And Sean, to your point on Freedom Fighter Leia there, I think Ewoks are another one that are just on that cusp of, once we get some meta changes, that Leia Lobre is in a very good spot.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, so that's my day kind of blitz there. Again, this Han Hera list is something I'm probably going to play a lot more of. I think it's really, really good, really dynamic. It's something different than what I usually play. So
Yeah, I'm curious what it's going to look like. Post some changes. Titus, what did you play?
So I ended up going actually what I had said I was going to do on the last cast, which is very unlike me. Anyone who's followed our events knows I tend to change my list like the week of to something completely unrecognizable.
You almost did.
So yeah, there's a story there. So I was going to go Veers Moff, which I did, but then I was going to go with Padme Cad Bane and fully commit to okay, these are the lists that are kind of going away, and I want to give them their send-off. But I was given a heads up a few days beforehand that a Will Moorer, I think it is, probably mispronounced the last name, but was gunning for my Ahsoka top spot. And so I was like, oh no, I have to play my Ahsoka Kiadi list. And I honestly think I've shot myself in the foot, because spoilers, I lost that game and my ranking went down.
and he won that GT.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So Will fully took my spot. Props to him, with the caveat that I will be coming for you.
Oh, all right, game on. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
So I ended up going Veers with the Death Troopers and Stormtrooper Sergeant, Moff Gideon with Death Trooper Escort and Shore Troopers. And this was a list that I've been saying for a while that I think can do well, can compete, but I'd never, put my money where my mouth was. It was always kind of that third list that was cut.
Yeah.
So I made it my goal to just force it into as many games as I could, because I felt I had to prove something before Veers gets completely changed. And then my other list was Ahsoka 1 with Shakti and the 501st. Yeah, it was the 501st. And then Kiadi with Nadar Veb and the Padawans. I've played this list a lot. The only change is that OB2 is usually in that Nadar spot, and then I take a 4-cost support somewhere. But going into this event, we'd all kind of said, yeah, we want to play fun things. We want to play stuff that is a little more casual. And I find OB2, when I'm playing that list, it's very much a control stasis sort of list where I just try to outposition people and slowly whittle them away. And that didn't feel like a fun sort of thing to do. So I was like,
But
I
also,
really enjoy Nadar, so I'm throwing him back
feel
in
like
there.
every game you play that list is also very typically a long one.
Yeah, it goes to time every time. Maybe not like 2 time, but like well into mission critical. We usually finish, but
There was that one time.
yeah. So in terms of like brought Never Tell Me the Odds, because again, I felt like that's what Veers did well on, which is a little paradoxical because he's not fast himself, but having the advanced deployment on fairly tanky supports is
good.
So game 1, I played against Rob, who went Obi Kiadi. Same thing, he played against Sean. And he walked over me on shifting priorities. I say walked over me. It was a pretty close game. It was very much, I had difficulties with the displacement versus him being able to recover from my shots, which are the only way I can displace him. Like it was a bad matchup. And if I wasn't trying to force Veer's Moff Gideon, I would have been into a mirror match, which I also very much dislike. So I feel like I don't see that I would have done anything different. But yeah, he took it. And we only went 2 struggles on that one, which makes me sad. It was not the only loss to come. So next up, I was against Cam. And in this one, again, I played Veers Moff Gideon. He played Cassian PLC. And this was one of those games where it really felt like unit quality really told, because Cam, and I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, he royally botched his deployment. We played Never Tell Me the Odds.
This, yeah.
Okay.
He ended up only holding 1 point, and like the back point that he should have had, he was a little bit off and said, okay, well, I'm going to play it as is. Proceeds to have like just terrible draws on the order deck. So he pulls Shatterpoint, decides, okay, I don't want to go with the Shatterpoint, shuffles that away, and then pulls Bodhi, who would be able to take that back point and nothing else. So he would have scored 1 because he could either take the back point or the middle back point on Never Tell. He reserves this. We later find out that you can't do that, but at the time we thought, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be played.
Clear, Titus and Cam both forgot how to play Shatterpoint for a moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and like I'm playing Moff Gideon. So of his 5 force, he's spent 3 of it already before he activates anything.
God.
Pulls K2, who also can't move anyone else, scores 1. So first activation that scores, he only scores 1 point. I proceed to very quickly capture like 4 points. He scores 1. I score 4 again. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is in the bag. Then he Shatterpoints Baze and Churut, and suddenly it is no longer in the bag.
Man.
And the whole game just goes like that, where I feel like I am dominating the struggle. I'm guaranteed the win here, and he goes with a super strong support, and Baze and Churut basically they just soloed my entire list.
Wow.
It was rough. Now, part of the problem was I can't wound anything, because again, he has Cassian, he has PLC, he has K2. I spent several turns, several attacks where I didn't go as far down my tree as I could have, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to do any more damage than I need to. And it's entirely possible that that wasn't the right play at the time. But considering how I felt I had a dominant position, I didn't want to get them into the fray. It was altogether a very good game. And Cam's always fun to play against. So all happy there.
Always.
Game 3 was against Josh. He was playing Cassian Kanan. I went Ahsoka Kiadi, because I am at this point very tired of the Cassian Baze and Churut stuff, and I played a list where I feel much more comfortable with. Josh ended up taking it 2-1, but it was again a very close game, and despite losing the game, it was one where I felt like, hey, I actually have a chance. I have the unit quality to keep up. It never felt out of control like it often can feel when I'm just kind of experimenting with random stuff. But yeah, we had a good time there. Then final match was against Eric Douglas. He played Anakin Kiadi, and I played Veers Moff again. I ended up taking this 2-1, but it was, again, very close game. I think my favorite moment of it was the fact that the first wound was Veers popping off and single turning Anakin from full health to dead, because...
What?
So Anakin spent several turns walking up to the center point, because his Anakin Kiadi list has Rex and... I forget what the other one was. It was Rex and Shakti. So he activates Rex, Shakti, Kiadi all before Anakin goes, and just every one of them dashes him to the center. So Anakin makes his way up there, and I go, it's good to condition up Anakin, get some conditions on there. And Veers wanted to take that middle point. So Veers sends someone up there and then goes, okay, I'm going to attack Anakin. Proceeds to full tree against Anakin. which on one of his sides turns out is 8 damage and a strain. And I'm looking at that and go, okay, there's Kiadi on this point with Anakin, and I think one other thing. I have like all my supports on that point. And Anakin hasn't gone yet, so I really want to wound him. Let's just bomb the point, because at that point he dies whether he dashes or not. And it was just very
That's
gratifying
phenomenal.
after the day I had for Veers to just go, okay, no, we're making a stand here.
We're gonna make a statement
Yeah,
in this
Yeah,
game.
we're
That's
gonna
amazing.
blow the Chosen One up with
Sweet. That's
overwhelming
awesome.
firepower. So, but yeah, it was a good day. And despite not performing well on paper, I came out of it for the first time in a little while, just excited to play more Shatterpoint. Like I felt reinvigorated after it. So
Yeah,
I felt the same way.
I'm gonna echo that as well too. Yeah, and I didn't mention that in my breakdown. I think I actually said this to you, Kyle. I said, or no, sorry, it was Trevor. Sorry, it was Trevor. I said a break. I think was actually oddly refreshing to just like have some time away, reassess things, and then coming back with more fun lists and not something super competitive. And I told Trevor this, and I said, I just feel like my mind is clear. I'm making good decisions. I'm thinking about my plays and all that kind of stuff. Where before we were playing a lot. We were playing a lot there for a little while. And it just cleared my mind to take a break and just come back to the game after a bit of a breather.
I also think post everyone processing the news that has come over the
I
last
think
few months, and it just felt nice to get together and play.
Yeah, because again, we have such a strong core group of people.
Yeah.
And it makes it really great to get together with everybody.
It was really good to see all the guys who were traveling to our area again. Because like they're all good friends at this point, and when you don't get to see them for a few months, it sucks.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see everyone.
Was it Tyler or Eric that came from Ottawa? Tyler.
Yeah.
Shout out Tyler, coming all the way from Ottawa. That's great.
Very much appreciated. Nice to see you out. Would be definitely come out again. It was a good day. It was a good day. Jumping into mine. So Titus, you mentioned you played the list recently. So I did take Mace Padme with Mace, Rex, first Padme, Pawns, and 7 Scorch.
It's so fun.
It is incredibly fun. This is my third event actually playing this list. I think second full event playing this. We have played it locally a couple times too. I love this. I think it's my favorite list in the game right now. It is a ton of fun. So when Delta first came out, my first instinct was to see what this box can do outside of just its box together. And I played basically this exact list with Obi instead of Padme. Not basically, literally this exact list with Obi instead of Padme, which was a ton of fun. The synergy was really great. It's a really tough list to deal with. It's a ton of out of activation movement. You add Obi in the Obi version, and you add lots of things being hunkered, and it's just you're getting bodies on points, you're getting them hunkered, and it's really tough to deal with. I think adding in strategic positions to the mix of missions was the final piece that I'm like, no, this has legs, because Mace on strategic positions is so good.
So I've been thinking about that. Yeah, how much of a nightmare he probably is on that mission.
Having played him on Thursday, he's amazing on strategic because everything just wants to go to the middle.
He commands the middle, I assume.
You end up in a situation where every attack coming in has protection and steadfast. Because your opponent has to have bodies in the middle. They have to commit bodies to that. So keeping him engaged isn't difficult. There are 3 things that can move him personally in this list, and there are not many lists that I think you can say that confidently.
Mm-hmm.
There's no tricks. Nothing special you have to do. You just 3 things can move Mace.
It is an incredibly force-hungry list, though, I will say.
Which is the double duty Mace is doing here. So moving into the Padme version, and I know there's definitely some other people that have played this list and advocated for it. So you add Padme to the mix here, and when her identity does double duty here, both with 7 Scorch. So the extra die to Republic within 4 doesn't say combat action, just says attack. So when 7 Scorch rule 17, you get to pump that up to 6 dice. which actually improves the math in a really, really effective way. And on the other side, Seven Scorch are always going to be a hot target for the board. Padme being able to also contest the objective and then bring Seven Scorch into also contesting that objective while they're down, you don't want to commit firepower to dealing with a wounded Seven Scorch. And there was multiple times they was able to just get Padme in a really good spot where she's behind terrain or underneath something where she's not exactly a threat in that you want to deal with, but she's making Seven Scorch hold a point. So she works really well here. She adds the full advance to a unit, which is a very rare ability across the game, but being able to full advance a unit is just incredible mobility. She's pretty fast herself, and she was on fire with the attacks all day. I have no notes for Padme.
She has pretty good expertise too, like on the attacks, which it's overlooked.
Yeah. And again, having both Seven Scorch and Rex here with Rule 17, and I'm almost first kid, like every activation is moving multiple pieces. It is, I want to say, the fastest list I have ever.
These are the types of lists that I think, too, that have been discussed that might be very, very good and maybe take over the meta post-rebalance.
Depending on how things go. Rebalance, depends on what happens with Seven Scorch. That's fair. Yeah. And Seven Scorch is in such an interesting place where, like, they feel pretty fair for a 5 cost.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably are the best balanced 5 cost. They are tough enough and defensive enough to where like they don't feel like wasted points, and they're strong offensively but not overwhelmingly so.
Yeah. Yeah, they're tuned well, yeah. I agree.
And Pons had a great day. I'll say that it's easy to forget that Pons has pretty incredible offensive expertise and is just pretty reliable at taking a shot at something.
4 damage and reposition on 2 is not to be sneezed at.
It's really good.
It's really good, yeah.
And when you're able to follow that up with a Rule 17, it changes the Pons turn.
Yeah.
My second list was going back to an old favorite in a little bit of a different fashion. So I played Princess Leia, Lobot, and Bar 2 with Mando, Luke, and Han and Chewie. My only concern with the Mace Padme list is that if something's hyper aggressive, I'm a little less confident in it. Once bodies start going down, and Titus, you commented on this, once force costs start going up, the tricks that this list does you can't afford them.
Not so tricksy anymore.
So I wanted to have a revenge list that could kind of fill in that spot. I've been wanting to play Lobot for a while. And strategic positions was mostly inspiration because Lobot, just being able to give a focus to anything on struggle 2 of strategic positions is dumb.
It's very strong.
It's dumb.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
And Rebels already have some very easy access to some free focuses. I didn't take either of the units that do that here, but I've played Leia Mando before. I really like the list. I wanted to again try a bit different version of it. Was happy with it. I only got 1 game because I didn't really find a scenario that was the right one to play it again, although I should have played it in my last game, but we'll get to there. A quick run through of my day. Where did that tab go? So game 1 was against Cam. I played this list first up against Cam, knowing Cam had his Cassian list, and it might be a worse revenge, but I figured we'd go in and see how it worked. Cam ended up playing Maul Mando. Here,
And Maul, we'll get into the breakdown, we'll get into the breakdown a little bit later, the most played primary of the day, second most taken.
So Cam's list was Mando, Boss, Han, and Chewie with Maul, Jango, and the weak one.
Interesting.
Good units across the board, a ton of displacement. This game was a pretty tight back and forth for Struggle 1. All my games for the day were on strategic. It was a pretty tight back and forth on Struggle 1, and then Cam had 1 bad activation with Maul that didn't quite go the way he wanted it to and missed my back objective being open that I think he could have gotten to. And it kind of spiraled from there. For those regularly listening to my games, I get a normal amount of wounds at this event. So I did 14 wounds over 4 games, and I think that might be a record for me. Dice went my way a couple times, but I think just from that point on that play with Cam, and then Struggle 2 went very quickly. I was impressed with Lobot here. Lobot was able to just hold a point that we were fighting back and forth, and once Lobot kind of got involved, it went my way pretty quick from there, and he was just in the right spot that every single activation was getting that free focus, which is a game changer just for consistency of dice going out.
I can see that.
Second game was into Josh. I promised Josh I would mention this because he was mad about it, but Josh got paired up into me. I got paired down for this round, and he was so mad that he had to do this.
So he actually said on Thursday night that we have to mention he is
Yes.
the first person to run the coordinated fire gauntlet in a single event, play against all 3 of us.
He played all 3 of us at the event.
He looked back through every event we'd played to determine that.
He dug through like a year and a half of
Yep.
events.
He got the coordinated fire hat trick. And actually, Cam was one game away. He didn't play me from the coordinated fire hat trick as well too.
Josh played Vader Kiadi. I was a little worried about this one from a matchup perspective. As I just mentioned, the weakness of the Mace Padme that I'm always worried about is that if someone just runs this over, how do I handle that? And I thought there was definitely a possibility of that with this game. I was able to get up the board pretty quickly, which again is a pretty consistent thing with this list. Strategic did me a lot of favors here in terms of layout. I think Josh also took strategic. Yeah, that's looking about right. And won the dice roll. And I really like going second. I really like going second. So it led to a pretty fast move. Josh took his Padawans across the board to try to take my back point first go, which again got him a pretty good first turn, but was able to wound them and then score, I think it was 4 that first go about, and it kind of spiraled from there. I'm trying to remember any other details here. I got Vader down and wounded also pretty quickly here, which does not happen often, but some double attacks going in and was able to take Vader down. And he ended up just having to activate Vader in a really awkward time where the Vader activation just couldn't possibly take a point, which is what kind of made the final call. Moving into my game with Matt, Matt and I had similar lists despite being very, very different.
I think I sat beside you and watched part of this game, actually.
I didn't properly pay attention to Matt's list before jumping into this. Let me pull this up. So Matt was playing Talzin, Hans, Evan Scorch, with Maul, Rex, and Fifth Brother.
Yes, and when I sat down, I was on Matt's side, and I looked, everybody was like, what is this? What's he doing?
Yeah, so we, Matt and I, for the start of Struggle 1, had a pawns off. He flipped pawns for his first flip. He took the activation, was like, fine, move pawns up. Pawns is going to dash 7 Scorch. No, Pawns was going to move himself to be able to just get to the midpoint and up on the midpoint. And then I flip my pawns, move my pawns up, shove his pawns off, rule 17, get 7 Scorch up, and I'm able to score 3 there. And then he activated 7 Scorch, and then I activated 7 Scorch. So we just fought over this point with mimicked activations. And then Talzin started joining the party. This was a pretty steady back and forth for Struggle 1 until I was able to get Mace involved. Once Mace got up there, Mace went up. Basically he was on a pod, so this was a shatter point, so I was able to do the dash move, which got him over to where Talzin was able to hit Talzin and shove her off the point, but stay engaged with her, which left Mace just basically engaged in that spot on the board for the majority of the game from there on out. This was a pretty tight game, despite what Matt would want to say. It was very much the 7 Scorch show. I don't have any other way to say that. Like the most impactful activations that both of us had were 7 Scorch or plays that involved 7 Scorch from both whether it's pawns, whether it's Rex. Padme was, I think, the least consequential in this game, but she did what kept me on the point that we kept fighting over eventually was getting Padme under there for my Dead 7 Scorch to be able to hold the point. So that became relevant at least one point every single game. Even in the game with Josh, going back to the last one, there was a point where if I didn't have Padme, if that was anyone else, and I wasn't able to flip a point with 7 Scorch with her being underneath, because she wasn't able to get up onto the point, but I was able to flip it with a double body 7 Scorch coming up. So that ability was relevant every single game. Turns out it's really good.
It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And they're going to make that box so much better with rebalance too. Like,
I'm excited to see what it
that
looks
box
like.
is going to be smoking, I think.
This game, I think, also ended with Matt going for a big swing 7 Scorch play, not quite getting the dice to do it, and then I flip 7 Scorch and then score 5 on Struggle 2.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Going into game 4, this was me and Brad. We're both 3-0. Sean, this is you. Brad was just coming from his game with you.
I was like, redeem me.
This game started by going bad in every way that I could possibly imagine. Brad was outscoring me. Brad was out moving me. The speed just wasn't clicking. It wasn't happening
Out moving, out attacking. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I know the
played
story.
an absolutely incredible game here, and if he is listening, honestly, dude, this was.
I'm joking about our game, but Brad is quickly become a phenomenal player.
Yes.
Very, very good.
And I thought I was losing this game. It was going bad so fast. I flip. I think I have 3 cards left in deck, struggle 1, and he's 1 pip away from taking struggle 1. It is on his side, and he is 1 point away. And there's 3 possible cards. If I flip the 501st here, I'm losing this struggle. I have no way to get them 2 points. They're the furthest away they possibly could be. This isn't happening. And sure enough, I flipped the 501st.
Gross.
And I say out loud, well, that's your struggle. And then I defensive maneuver them up. I advance them forward. They cannot touch a point. Even defensive maneuver, advance, even with a hunker here, they cannot get to a point. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw some pot shots. I'm going to throw some damage out, and we're going to prep some wounds for struggle 2. And the only thing they can hit is the coverts, which currently have protection because they're in the deck. Fire shot 1, I full tree. This does 6 damage, pin, strain, reposition. Is that right for 501st tree?
I'll take your word on it.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's double condition. It's got it. First one's pin for sure. Yeah,
it's the
pin strain.
reposition. I'm not sure about.
It's reposition on 4. Anyway, full tree with 501st, which allows me to actually walk the 501st back to the point that there's the single covert Mando is holding. Like, okay, this is also a point that is very likely to flip for struggle 2. I'm going to get the 501st back there. We're going to go for this. And I'm like, okay, I'm at this point. If I wound them, I can actually get them off another point, and maybe we're still in the struggle. I fire the second 501st, and it also goes full tree. I think it went 4. It went 4. So I end up wounding the coverts. Getting the reposition off this one allows him to go take a different point. Because the coverts they'd been moved up, and they were holding points. So I went from I'm only scoring 1 this turn to scoring 3, and a wound I didn't expect.
Not bad.
I score 3. He's only able to score 2 back, just based on positioning and force left. And I crawl my way back to this struggle.
To win it?
To win struggle 1.
Shoot. Nice.
This was a very long struggle 1. And at this point, what kept me on those points is I had Mace engaged with Maul in the center. And Maul, so he was playing Maul armor, typical Mando affair, and Maul's the only character he cannot out of activation. So, which is what made me intentionally engage Mace with Maul. He had already mauled and shatterpointed early in the game, which was what led to that early lead. So there was no way he could move Maul and no way he could activate Maul until we get to a fresh deck. So this means Mace is staying engaged, and I have protection and steadfast basically across every relevant point, which this just led to activation after activation of Brad trying to get something off of a point, and the combination of protection and steadfast, and admittedly some hot defense dice, just kind of failing to get this through by I needed one more on the tree. I needed one more on the tree to be able to get that double shove to actually make a difference on the point or to wound something. So I end up crawling that back. What did that score end up being? I honestly could keep going because this was just one of the most incredible games of Shatterpoint I have played in a long time. Brad gave me a game.
It's amazing. It's good.
Brad took Struggle 2 without me being able to contest a damn thing. There was no way I could even really participate in the struggle. So I started setting up for 3 basically immediately. And then we went to Struggle 3 by the end of this. And this is the thing that this list can really pivot to. If, you can go the fast movement, you can go the mace turtle, but with all the extra attacks that you can do with Seven Scorch and with Rex and all that, you can output damage. I ended up with 6 wounds in this game. And I'm actually not sure if I've ever done 6 wounds in a game of Shatterpoint before.
In a game ever? It's crazy.
I'd like to fact check that, honestly, but I cannot think of a time where I have, and that is the resort that Brad pushed me into, where like I am only winning this game if I keep his bodies down, because I'm scratching to come back. So I had to that struggle 1, as soon as that 501st wound happened, it was just, I have to play a wound game, and the list pulled through. Dude, it was such a tight game. It was again, congrats to Brad. This was just an incredible.
That's amazing, man. Yeah.
And to the point that you guys made, I left that one very reinvigorated and no, I'm excited to play Shatterpoint. This was a thrill. Did you know this game's really fun?
It is.
This game that we started a podcast about one time.
It's had its ups and downs. The current meta is not great. But even then, it's a great game, and I don't see anything taking its place anytime soon.
Yeah,
no, there is nothing from a tabletop perspective that I have ever enjoyed as much as I enjoy the highlights of this.
I think that's such the double-edged sword of the situation, right? Is that we know how great this game is. And I'm going to tell you something too. I bet you AMG, and when you hear Michael Plummer still talk about this game, he knows too how great this game is and everything that's transpired with it. Again, the fact that we've been able to keep it together here. I know, like I said before, we missed a couple, but yeah, this event refreshed me too as well. I'm super excited for the rebalance, which hopefully we can snowball into some events and the TBO, and I hope it stays until October for the GT. That's my hope.
Legitimately like a bounce back.
Yeah.
It did. So what do we have upcoming? Obviously, we know Rebalance is right around the corner. I'm actually hoping we have it by the time this episode airs. We're recording Monday the 11th. I had my my 2 cents bet on it coming tomorrow, so we will see. If by the time this episode hits, we've got Rebalance out, man, is this going to be bad content?
Don't do that.
We're
to
not
us,
doing.
We're
not doing addendum for that though.
No. We'll get to Rebalance when we get there. John, I'll pass it over to you because we've got Battle for Breath coming up.
Yeah. So actually, Torchlight first on May 30th. I know both of you guys can't go, but I'm going to be going.
Nice.
That should actually be, hopefully, fingers crossed again, on the 30th, should be our first post-rebalance event. And then, yes, Battle for Breath, June 13th and 14th. This is the one that we've been talking about. Our friends at the KW Wargaming Guild, they do it at the Curling Club. This is going to be a big event. We have people coming from all over Canada now. We have our good friend Dylan coming down from BC. We have friends from Ottawa. This one attracts everybody from our local area. We would love to see some of our American friends come, Michigan, anybody from New York that wants to come up. This one is worth the price of admission because it supports Cystic Fibrosis Canada. And it is a 5-day Swiss event that goes across 2 days. So we do 3 rounds on Saturday. We do 2 rounds on Sunday. Full value for your ticket. 5 games. Try and bring it a little casual, but I know maybe some people will be trying some new stuff, and we try and keep it a little more laid back.
Everyone's going to have fun. But I think everyone's going to have new things they're excited to try, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we have a ton of prizing and the famous raffle that they do. Everybody leaves with a ton of stuff.
100%. And so other upcoming stuff, we've chatted with our local group. I know we had a lot of chatter around the draft style event that Josh put on last year. We're going to be doing that again. Basically, as soon as Rebalance hits, we're going to be planning. We're going to be figuring out when we're doing that.
And
We're going to do that live with everyone. I think is
Yes.
what we've committed to for doing
But not
the
live.
actual.
We're recording it.
Yeah, we're recording it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We're
We're
gonna
not
do it on the
streaming it or
cast
anything.
with
No,
everyone.
I started us a Twitch channel. Did you not hear that, guys?
And I think I know we talked about it at the beginning of the year on what our year plan was for the cast, and obviously there's been a 300 wrenches thrown into that since that conversation. But maybe post Rebalance tier list time.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly think it is. Yes,
It's
this is
about
one
time.
that we've been sitting on for a while. I think we need to do the coordinated fire tier list. Yes, 100%. It is time.
That's it. In summary,
Nice.
we're excited to play Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
I think we all came out feeling the same way from this event, which is
There's a little light at the end of the tunnel. I think we kind of all knew it was there. We were just ignoring it for a little while, right? We were kind of like wallowing in our sadness. We were
We
ignoring
have
the
to
light
feel
at
our
the end of the tunnel.
feelings.
But
We do.
the light seems to be coming closer and closer and closer and closer.
and I need to figure out a way that I can actually play a Battle for Breath. So
yeah, you do.
You better, because I keep hearing people saying, "Oh, like from our local group. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it. I need someone to carpool with, guys. Like, come on."
I'll be there. I will be there. I just don't know if I can play.
Dang, small business responsibilities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something table bound.
This is what
But-
happens when you make your hobbies into a job.
And then
This
it
is
goes
what
ex-
happens
and then
when
it goes
there's
really well.
what happens
Yeah.
when there's two events in Ontario that are large on the same weekend. That's what's
Yeah.
getting me. So Jen and I might have to divide and conquer for this one, but we will figure it out closer to, and I'm going to keep putting off making that decision. With that, if you want to chat about our lists, what you've been playing, what's going on, what you're excited about a Rebalance, jump into the Discord. We're always happy to chat about the game. I think, again, especially with some excitement. I know I'm excited to jump back into the conversation a little heavier, and I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way. So if you're not in there yet, I don't know what you're doing listening every week when I say the link is in the show notes, but the link is in the show notes. Join the conversation, and we'd love to chat. Thanks, everyone.
Hopefully next time we chat, we're talking about Rebalance.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
Have a
Okay,
good night,
everybody,
guys.
peace.